Would you be afraid of dying at 200 miles per hour? I'm Nayeema Raza. This is Smart Girl Dumb Questions. And today I'm here with Carson Hocevar, the 6'4", 23-year-old NASCAR star who drives a 700 horsepower missile for a living.
Pretty much, yeah.
How much do they weigh?
About 3,500 pounds.
I know nothing about NASCAR. The only thing I know is about this one driver called, do you know who I'm going to say?
Ricky Bobby.
Smart Girl Dumb Questions.
No. Is that more famous? Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt's probably the most famous, for
Dale
sure.
Earnhardt Sr., who famously lived and died dangerously.
Mm-hmm.
He died at the age of 49 on the track. And you are often compared to him. Is that a compliment or like a bad omen?
I'd say it's a compliment. I don't think they're comparing me at all by the achievements. They're mainly comparing me on the style and aggression that he had and the don't really care attitude, I guess, to the other competitors. So I take it as a compliment.
What does it mean not care? Because you obviously care about winning and about
it's
being
just not caring about the other drivers. There's always the respect and unwritten rules and everything. And sometimes people want to take advantage of the unwritten rules because they're not rules. And that's probably where I fall into that.
You got into racing at a very young age.
When I was 7.
And they call it midget racing?
Yeah, quarter midget racing. So it's a midget car, but a quarter the size for kids. It's basically a go-kart with a roll cage and seatbelts. My mom raced dirt bikes. And
your mom raced dirt bikes?
I mean, she rode dirt bikes, I should say, and snowmobiles and everything. And she broke a lot of bones in her body. And so she knew that I was probably going to do the same, especially if I rode dirt bikes or did anything. Quarter midgets had a roll cage and seatbelts to plug a 7-year-old in and race.
Quarter midget. I feel like now we're supposed to call that little person, but it's not very PC.
Nah, we're fine.
We're good. Okay. I want to get into your story, but first I need you to educate me on all things NASCAR because obviously I know nothing about this sport. My limited understanding of racing comes from having gone to a few F1 races and having watched the movie where Brad Pitt looks really hot while racing against his younger teammate. So what is the difference between NASCAR and F1? Is it like American football versus real football, soccer? Or is it like American football versus rugby?
Sure. I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, still go around the track and still have cars and everything. I mean, a lot of the F1 plot is really, really close to a NASCAR movie from the 80s or 90s, but it was with Tom Cruise, Cole Trickle, Days of Thunder. A lot of it matches. It's crazy. It's hilarious how the scenes line up and everything. We make contact a lot more than F1 cars. There's, rules and regulations of how they race in F1. NASCAR, they don't. They don't really care. There's probably a little bit of a line that we probably can't cross for drivers, but we can't turn around backwards and run into each other. That's probably not allowed. But everything else, you pretty much go ahead. But in F1, if you block somebody and don't even really make contact, that could be a penalty. So it's just a lot more stricter officiating because the cars are more expensive and a little bit more dangerous. NASCAR is a little bit more rough and tumble and, just from its background.
So you're probably in the right lane at NASCAR versus F1 if you have a more aggressive style.
Yeah, I'm definitely where I would belong.
Yeah.
I would get ran out of F1 very, very quickly, even if I was fast enough to be in it.
And ran out means you would have gotten in trouble.
Yeah, they would have just kicked me out. I would have been banned, probably.
Will they ever ban you from NASCAR? Would you ever get kicked out for your aggressive style?
No, they like it. They're able to promote it on Mondays and for TV promos and stuff.
This makes regular driving seem so boring.
It is.
I saw somewhere it's F1, it's more about the machine, the car, and NASCAR, it's more about the driver.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. There's just so much money in F1. So F1, they build the cars. They build everything from scratch, basically. They develop it all, do everything. They develop the motors. They're obviously trying to get the best drivers, but it's who could build the best car. Where in NASCAR, we all have spec cars. So it's realistically who could just put the rat trap together the best, but not to make it really go the fastest, but more so to match the driver they can get.
I like it. The rat trap.
Yeah, just we all get the same rat trap, but we might all build it differently.
Did you watch the movie F1?
Yes, I did.
So this is a scene where the older hot driver, Brad Pitt, is racing against his teammate, the young driver, Danson Idris. And they're on the same team, and they're competing for last place, I think. Let's see this scene.
Round the final corner, it's close. They make contact. Both Apex GP cars into the gravel, and Pierce hits the barrier.
Would that ever happen, like where two people on the same team would actually go up against each other so competitively?
Yeah. No, in NASCAR that happens.
And what
all the time.
happens? Like if that happens on a Sunday, what's the Monday morning meeting like? I'm sure.
Well, normally you'd get in trouble in that case just because you guys were last and wrecked. But if you were up front, it's really just a balance of obviously a lot of bias of like where you are in points, where the guy that got wrecked was at in points. What was he racing for? Was he slowing down and holding the guy up? Did he make him mad earlier and it was retaliation? So realistically, it just kind of turns into who's the favorite at the team. And so if you wreck the favorite at the team, you're probably going to be able to...
Be the new favorite?
No. You'll probably get in trouble.
Okay.
If you're the favorite and do the wrecking, you might be okay.
Are you the favorite?
I don't know.
Because you're on the Squire Motorsports team.
Yes, I am.
You don't know if
I'm
you're...
definitely
are
the
you being...
youngest. I don't know. I think I'm just like the one that they laugh at and they just expect some,
Come on, Carson, you can't say that and say you don't know who the favorite is.
They're probably watching. I'm trying to be polite.
But you are the favorite. Yeah. Okay.
Luckily, none of my teammates and I have ever wrecked. But they're on other teams. It's definitely happened.
If you could wreck a team member, who would it be?
Wreck a team member? I would just want to wreck anybody else.
Not your team.
Yeah, because I love my boss, and my boss reminds me just to act like he's the one driving. So I would not wreck my boss. So it works out. That's the coaching
that you got?
Yeah, it's a smart psychology.
So your boss is like the head of the team
Yeah,
manager?
he's a car owner. Team owner.
What's his name?
Jeff Dickerson.
So you could be aggressive, but not too aggressive, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. You race each other really hard, but you don't want to hit each other because realistically, you have to walk in the building with 200 employees that are making their salary off of how we do.
But you famously don't care, but you care about your boss.
I care about my boss.
Okay, so this film was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, and as you mentioned, there are a lot of references to that, I think it's 1990 film with Tom Cruise. So let's watch a clip from that. Which of the movies is better, by the way? Have you seen that?
Days of Thunder.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's NASCAR? Because why?
It just looks cooler I just like the nostalgia of it, the old shots and everything. New movies they almost like to look too clear.
I know. I think something about like the movies from the 90s look the best. Okay, we're gonna watch this. It's very nicely shot 1990-ish film.
Cole, you're wandering all over the track.
Yeah, well, the son of a bitch just slammed into me.
No, he didn't slam into you, he didn't bump you, he didn't nudge you. He rubbed you. And rubbing, son, is racing.
In that clip, Tom Cruise is driving, being talked to by somebody, I guess his boss.
crew chief.
The crew chief. Okay. And he says, rubbing is racing, son. Yeah. Is that true?
No, it's 100% true. Sometimes you just bump into people just to, frustrate them or rattle them and whatnot. And so that's all they were doing. He was a rookie in that movie, in that scene. And they're just trying to rattle him to get him off his game, make mistakes, or get frustrated. So the second he hit him, he then just hit the wall and started tearing up his car because he was getting rattled.
Oh, interesting. So wait, rubbing means obviously
like rubbing the two cars, like yes.
Rubbing the cars or the tires?
Oh, just everything. Just like rubbing the cars, like making contact with the cars that rub against each other, whether it's the tires or the sheet metal or the front bumper or the back bumper.
And when you're a rookie, they do it more to you because they...
Most of the time, yeah. So they just see they just push you over. They just try to see what they can get away with.
This is like bumper cars, but like very aggressive.
Strategic bumper cars.
Strategic because how? Like, is there a way to rub where you're...
Yeah, you're trying not to 100% like wreck them or wreck yourself. The ultimate rule in racing, especially NASCAR, is you cannot wreck yourself if you try to wreck somebody.
You cannot wreck yourself.
Like you can't like when you try to wreck somebody and you basically miss and wreck yourself.
Ooh.
That's a bad look.
Has that ever happened to you?
Somebody tried to do it to me and he wrecked himself, which is really funny.
Okay. Do you want to name that person?
Nah.
Okay.
I forget his name.
Is that guy Zane or whatever? No.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, no. You're going to pretend you don't. I'm going to ask you about him later, okay? Because there's apparently some rivalry.
I guess. I don't know. One-sided.
It's like I know nothing about NASCAR except the 5 things I could find when I was digging around.
Twitter.
We'll be right back after the break. Guys, today's sponsor dumb question is from me. I'm going to take the next minute to tell you a little bit about Smart Girl Dumb Questions and to ask you for your help in continuing to make independent, fact-based, and curious journalism. No, I'm not going to ask you for money. Here's what I need. I would love you to tell 10 of your friends about the show, or 100. I don't know, blast that reunion group that you muted, and definitely tell your mom, and tell your mom to tell her friends too. Even if you don't like the show and you're just like hate watching it or listening to it, tell 10 of your friends to hate watch it too. Numbers are numbers, people.
So F1, everyone knows Lewis Hamilton. In NASCAR, would we ever have a driver that's that famous globally the way like Lewis Hamilton is?
I mean, realistically, probably Dale Earnhardt was it. Current gen, no, not really. Or, I think it's possible, but right now, no. In F1, though, the thing is, like, everybody's from certain countries. You kind of get to bandwagon whoever the driver is, right? When the Knicks won here in New York, everybody from New York was instantly involved. I'm from Michigan, so I never really cared about football because the Lions always sucked. But the second they started being good, all of a sudden, the tickets are selling out, and it's tough to get seats at Lions Stadium and everything. Same deal. Where at F1, if, there could be a driver from a country that hasn't been winning a lot, all of a sudden that whole country bandwagons because it's an international sport. So that's the thing when NASCAR is like, there's not really ever going to be like a bandwagon for that. Realistically, it's just really tough to have that just because we're all from, certain states, or a lot of them are even just from North Carolina.
And you guys also have like the problem football players have with the helmets, except with the helmets, you have like helmets and then cars. So you're like inside of a lot of things. So people don't necessarily. Yeah,
they don't get attracted to the drivers. It's really tough. And the cars don't look the same. Like even too, like F1, they have, there's just Ferrari fans or Mercedes fans or McLaren fans. Like people are fans of the cars, and the cars are international too.
I did see that you went to the Met Gala.
I did.
Which feels like more F1 than NASCAR. Fair?
I would agree.
Who did you wear?
Dior.
Why didn't you wear like a fire suit? It would have been so avant-garde.
They invited me about 3 days in advance.
Really?
Yeah, super quick. Well, I won Talladega.
You're a B-list Met Gala.
Well, so I won Talladega, the NASCAR race and everything the week before, and
that was your first NASCAR.
That was my first
Cup.
NASCAR win, and the celebration, kind of made its way on the internet a lot, and so they just invited me right after it. It was like a rush to just go find a suit, basically.
Yeah. Next year, you're gonna wear like a fire suit.
That would be cool. And we were joking that it would just be funny to wear like a Power Rangers uniform, like completely just off the wall. Like,
you could be like, in Times Square they have the people. You could be like a Chili's. You could be like a big Chili's.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would look good.
At least hopefully I have a year to think about it.
Hopefully you get reinvited.
I know.
It's like it's very.
It's tough.
It's tough. Some people like they make it once, they never come back. I have high hopes for you because your career is like very much on the up and up. It must be so exciting to be where you are.
No, it's been very cool.
You've raced at a bunch of tracks. Are they different? Like, in tennis at Roland Garros in Paris, they have clay. They have grass at Wimbledon. They have hard courts at the U.S. Open in Flushing Meadows. Are the tracks different in NASCAR?
Yeah, all the tracks are different. So they're different shapes, different sizes, and different materials. Sometimes they have stuff grinded into them to age the asphalt or concrete more, and sometimes they stay really new for a long time. And then sometimes bumps develop because of like tunnels under the track and everything. So the track ages very weirdly, and it just changes the whole characteristics of the track.
So like in tennis, it like changes how you bounce the ball. It changes how you have to move because of like grass versus clay versus hard court. How does it work like in NASCAR?
It changes how we race each other because sometimes the lanes might be, one lane might have an advantage to the other. Changes how we set up the cars, changes how you drive and like your driving style, elevations, uphill, downhill, sometimes more banking, less banking. Literally every track's different. You can't run the same setup at one track versus the other. You change it every track.
But you have the same car because you're using the same car basically.
Similar cars. So we have about 7 cars that we kind of have on a rotation. So like F1, they use the same car every week. Every week they race, unless they completely crash it and total it. And
like each driver has his own car.
They have their own car, but they only have one for their whole season, basically, is their goal. Is for us, we have 7 that we can use because we race 38 times a year. So I'll race a car 1 week, and I might race that car again 4 or 5 weeks later. Because basically you're just kind of on every 3 weeks you're just alternating cars. No.
Do you have a favorite one? No, I guess.
No, not really. Just because you can't keep up with what car's what.
Okay. We'll do a fuck, marry, kill of racetracks.
Okay.
So Bristol Motor Speedway, Chicago Street Course, or the Talladega Super Speedway.
Okay.
Where you won your cup.
I'd probably marry Talladega. I'd probably kill Chicago Street Course and bang Bristol.
Bang
Over.
Bristol, because it's
Yeah.
alliterative. Why would you kill Chicago street course? And what's the difference?
Just because
between
you
these
named two like of the like greatest ovals we have. Like I like the street courses, but like eventually there needs to be like a third on the totem pole here.
And street courses are like they're actually streets that people in
Yeah, you're in
Chicago
the
drive
streets.
all the
Yep.
time,
Mhm.
and they just close them off for the
Yeah,
day.
they just close them off, put walls in them, and race between the walls.
This is like Taylor Swift's wedding in Manhattan.
Pretty much.
We would be so mad in New York.
Yeah,
they
that's why we
close-
don't do it in New York.
You couldn't do it. You wouldn't want
But
to.
Chicago, they still get mad, I think.
You won your first cup there at Talladega, and we have a little video of it. There's this is what got you invited, I guess, to the Met Gala.
Yeah, which
'Cause-
is odd. Just you never think anybody from Talladega would get, have any sort of correlation to the Met Gala. But
Where is Talladega?
in Alabama.
Okay, I've
Just
never
in the
been.
middle of Alabama.
Okay. So this is a cup you've won,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
after you win, you guys do this like victory lap.
Yeah, we did. You just do whatever. Normally, people just do little burnouts and everything. But in this, I sat on the door of my car, rode the car
Mhm.
in front of the fans so they could see me, hear me, and like I could wave and do everything. And then I drove the car while I was sitting on the door into the wall and did the burnout that we normally do inside the car. Just I did it on the door.
And a
'Cause-
burnout is like literally you like burn
yeah,
out
you
the
just
car.
hold the car wide open and spin the tires, and you're just seeing the smoke. So you just try to burn out
Yeah.
all the rubber.
Well,
basically.
we'll watch like a
Mhm.
little bit. We cut this down, but this is you. So you're like literally outside, and you're a very
standing on
tall,
the door,
lanky human,
Yeah,
and you're outside of the car window,
Mhm.
like, and somehow your foot is still on the clutch.
yeah. I'm putting my foot on the gas and just just moving it.
Okay, let's play it.
And a burnout.
So you wanted to crash into that wall?
Yeah, I wanted to hit it against the wall and then do the burnout right there. That's a common burnout that people do is
Okay.
just do a burnout right against the wall that holds against it to just make all the tire smoke that you see.
Was that in your mind that like the first time you win a cup,
Yeah.
you're going to do that?
Mhm.
And has anyone done that before?
No one's ever done that. Dale Earnhardt did it, but not for like a win. He had mud on the car
Yeah.
or on the front windshield, and so he rode on the door and rolled down the straightaway, and he got out and cleaned the front windshield himself,
Mhm.
and then got back in. But nobody's ever like rode on the door, like just driving down a straightaway, and
And it's Dale Earnhardt Sr. because he had his
Dale Earnhardt Sr. Yeah,
Because
Dale
he's
Earnhardt
son.
Jr.
who
is-
also raced,
Yep.
but now has a podcast,
Now has a podcast and is retired. Yeah,
and he really likes you.
he does.
You're
okay.
his favorite too. Are you
Yeah,
everyone's
what's your-
favorite?
I don't know.
Are
but,
you used to being? Are you one of those people that's like a teacher's pet and everyone's favorite and like your grandparents' favorite?
I guess. I don't know.
Oh.
But it was cool. It's cool for me because Dale Jr. when I was a kid he was my favorite driver.
There's a moment before you win where the I forget, how do you call those people? Correspondents, the commentators.
Yes.
The commentators are talking about you're saying thank you to some people, and they say, "Oh, he sounds emotional."
Mhm.
Were you emotional?
Yeah, I was super excited. Just super like relieved of like just weight all just super light in the car, and just all the emotions just kind of came in.
Did you cry?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I was super excited.
Yeah. Do you often cry when you win?
No, not normally, but this one was just super big.
Famously, you've had a great mentor in
Mhm.
your career as well as your boss currently.
Yeah.
But someone named Brian Clausen, right?
Yeah, Brian Clausen. Yeah.
Tell me about Brian Clausen.
Yeah, so he helped me when I was quarter midget racing a lot, and
Brian.
Tim Clausen, his dad, him and his dad.
Okay.
So they helped me throughout, kind of quarter midgets for a while and everything. And then just a few years after he passed away in a racing accident. But I still talk to Tim all the time, and how this all kind of ties together, which is super cool for me, is Jeff Dickerson used to be an agent.
Mhm.
He used to be Brian's agent when he raced NASCAR because Brian raced NASCAR for a while.
Yeah.
So Tim and Jeff have a great relationship, Brian's dad, just
Mhm.
because Jeff was Brian's agent. So Tim owns a sprint car team, which is what Brian raced, and Spire now has a partnership with that. So we get to, kind of collectively all, I get to be a fan of their sprint car team.
Yeah.
Spire gets to have a sprint car team that's partnered with Tim, and it's kind of all with its own family, so it's kind of cool.
Did you imagine that your life would get here when you were like a quarter midget, and you also used to do these like stop motion animations on YouTube?
No, I mean, I always thought that it was possible, and I always dreamt it was going to happen. But realistically, now it's just wild the fact that I had that confidence then.
What's up with these like stop motion animations? There's like this like Gen Z YouTuber to NASCAR pipeline. You, Raja Karu.
Just on YouTube, you would just search up NASCAR stuff, and just people were doing them. I never even thought about doing them. You get these NASCAR diecasts, and with a kid, you always wanted to
Like diecasts
race
are like
them.
these little tiny cars.
Yeah,
Right?
so you always wanted to race them as a kid and pretend you had your own races, and people thought, well, I can make this video where it's stop motion and it kind of brings it to life and it looks real because you don't see hands moving around and everything. And they used to commentate it and make it look like it was a real race.
Hocevar, can he save it up?
1 lap remaining for Carson Hocevar. Started at the back of the field today.
Take a look at what he
I always just thought that was super cool. So I did it, and everybody that's now growing up and getting towards NASCAR and stuff, that was around that time frame that YouTube was around when they were as a kid. They all did it. Like all my friends that race quarter midgets, we all compared our stop motions to each other of who had the best one or who won theirs and stuff. So
Sorry, there's a siren right now. When's the last time you've been pulled over regular driving?
COVID time,
Okay.
2022.
Speeding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But it wasn't bad. I was like 8 over. So I thought that was a little cheap.
did you get a ticket?
I did. That's the only ticket I've ever gotten.
Okay. How does it feel like you drive at 200 miles per hour with no speed limit, no speed bumps, no stop signs for a living? How does it feel for you when you're just like in a regular car, just driving down, a street in North Carolina or in Michigan?
It's underwhelming for sure. It's just like, just you see all like I just like see like corners and like want to like cut them and run fast through them and think about like, oh, like especially if like all my buddies are, we're driving somewhere. It's like, I wish we could just like race there, just because you have that thought. But it's not like you like really go, like it's not like you ever forget, oh my God, I'm on the road. Oops.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be like
You don't
danger of
like
that.
forget.
How does traffic feel for you? You must hate it.
I do hate it. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, not a fan.
I try to avoid downtowns as much as possible, like back roads and everything, just to avoid traffic.
What does road rage look like for you?
I'm actually pretty good about it. I'm never in a hurry to be anywhere. I'm bad at being on time. But so with that, I don't get like frustrated at anything. Most of the time I laugh at people that do dumb things on the road.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I'm also bad at being on time, and I'm also everyone's favorite. I think those things are correlated. Like if people like you get forgiven.
Perfect. Yeah. You probably take advantage of it too.
Do you think that because you drive a car, you could fly a plane?
No, I think opposite, because I don't really am good with like following rules, and I feel like flying a plane, you need to be a definite rule follower if you want to fly a plane for a long time.
Why do you think you're so bad at rules? Following rules?
I don't know. Childhood, maybe.
When did you know that about yourself?
Childhood, probably.
Like when? Do you remember a particular time or story?
Just sitting in school and trying to figure out how I can get out of tests and homework and being there. I'm just trying to figure out ways I can like smooth talk the receptionist to get them distracted and like find times that they would be distracted so I could walk out school and like trying to figure out ways I can, turn in tests that don't have anything on them and pretend I was not there that day.
Are there any rules that you like?
No.
No. Do you like lines?
Lines?
Like you ever wait in lines?
No. I hate lines. I DoorDash everything just because of that.
But then being on a team, you have to do some of these things, right? Like
you do.
When your boss, who you love,
yes, I do love him.
or when Tim asks you to follow a rule, you probably do it.
No, you try to. Well, I mean, that's not really like rules. That's just like I guess rules, but it's more just like meetings and stuff that like that's fine. But specific rules, they kind of let me do whatever.
What have you learned about like aggression or rule following or rule breaking? Like, what's your relationship between like rewards and rules?
Just it really depends what you're risking. If the risk, definitely is lower than the potential of what you're trying to achieve, then just do it every time. If the prize is well worth the amount of risk that you're risking, then it's just an easy gamble.
Even if it's low probability, but high return, high reward.
Yeah, high reward, low probability. You still, still high reward.
Do you feel yourself like calculating those things when you see a corner or you see something? Is it just intuitive for you when you're driving?
Yeah, I've just done it for so long. A lot of it's instinctual. Like a lot of it, it's a blur to me. Yeah, it's hard for me to like be like, yeah, I remember exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking this. Like most of the time, you know, in the race last week, I was like singing because a song was stuck in my head.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of instinctual. It's very similar to the analogy of you drove to work but you don't remember the drive.
I recently was with Christian McCaffrey, the 49ers running back, tight end, running back, football player.
Yep.
And we were both speaking at something in San Francisco. And he was talking about how much tape he watches, like how much tape he watches of himself play football. It's like there's such a routine. Do you watch tape of yourself racing?
No.
Never?
No, not normally. Unless it's like a cool highlight or anything.
Yeah.
No, I don't watch any tape, honestly. I'm pretty bad at that, but I like to just kind of go in blind because it's all instinctual anyway. So I like to kind of go in blind to races and stuff just because it allows me to be present. You know, because the day, the track, the car is all going to be different that day. So I just like to adapt to whatever you know I get that day.
Do you have a ritual? Like, do you call your mom and tell her you love her before you get in the car?
No, but I get a coffee before the race. That's it.
It's basically the same thing.
It's basically the same thing.
Basically the same thing. But I'm sure you know your mom
That's
knows.
my only superstition. Is I have to get a coffee before
Which
the race.
kind of coffee?
Any kind. It doesn't matter.
You just have to have like a coffee?
I don't even have to drink it. I just have to get one.
Okay. Have you ever gone and not gotten one and done well in a race still?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure, but
So there's one rule you like, the coffee
that's
rule.
just no. It's not a coffee rule. It's a superstition. It's not a rule.
Okay. Interesting. Have you ever broken a rule and then regretted it?
Probably. None come to mind yet.
Think about it for a little longer.
I don't know. I feel like I don't have a lot of regrets. Yeah, I got to do the mistakes to learn to, yeah, if they were even a mistake.
You have a ton of confidence. Like, do you think that's are you getting more
Everybody
confident?
says that. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think it's good. I also have a ton of confidence. I imagine,
Yeah,
where do you
yeah.
think you got it from?
Delusion, TV.
Delusion TV. Your parents, maybe?
Sure.
Maybe being everyone's favorite.
Yeah, maybe
correlates.
that. Maybe that's just built over time. They just get away with a lot of things.
Do you think you're getting more confident as you get older or less confident?
Probably. Yeah, no, I definitely feel like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, like, apparently if you just know how to talk to people sometimes, it's just like, oh, you're so confident. It's just like, do people not talk anymore?
Who makes you feel least confident in your life?
Least confident? I don't know. Nobody.
When's the last time you felt insecure? Or someone who dressed you down? Like
Dressed
a
me down.
girlfriend, you know, who's like not that kind of dressed down, but the other kind of like,
I don't know. I
Your
don't
mom.
get nervous. I don't know. Confident. I don't know. Honestly, probably like I was probably the most I guess the least confident I've ever been was at the Met Gala.
yeah.
But just because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I was walking into. I guess if I don't know what to expect, I'm not confident.
Yeah.
Until I'm in the environment.
And did you have a date at the Met Gala or did you go solo?
No, I actually brought one of my best friends just because his mom, like that's her Super Bowl.
Oh,
So we
really?
both got to like, you know, I got to bring my best friend and both of our moms were like on cloud nine.
You didn't
And so
want to
we got
invite your best friend's mom? I guess it's not a good look.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
It's weird.
But you felt comfortable within
Yeah.
a while being there?
Yeah, because we just both were like, we're so lost. And like our moms are like texting us like how big of a deal this is. Oh my God, we're on TV. This is cool. And then it's just like, okay, I don't understand this world, but I'm learning it.
Do you ever have imposter syndrome? Do you know what that is?
No.
Have you heard that
I've heard of
term?
it. I've heard of it.
Do you know what it is?
Explain it.
It's like when you feel like things are going so well and you're like, maybe, you know, you're sitting there and you're like interviewing the president and you're like, why am I doing this? Or, you know, it's my
okay,
corollary
yeah.
to that. But do you ever feel like you're in these like, I don't know, is there a better definition of imposter syndrome, anyone?
Don't all speak at
You
once.
think you shouldn't be there because other people deserve it more than you or something like that.
Yeah.
Living in someone else's shoes.
Or you're not qualified to be doing what you're doing.
Oh.
How did I get here?
You feel
And
like
this should be me?
You feel like a fraud a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah,
thank
damn.
you, Kyle,
Okay, thanks,
Becky, and
guys.
Sanjana.
No, I don't know. I don't think I've ever. I don't know. I think it's more so shocking at times of I get it all the time of like, I can't believe like a NASCAR driver's doing this. Less about I'm doing it, if that makes sense. Like going to the Met Gala, I was just like, I can't believe just like winning a NASCAR race. Like allowed me to like come here and stuff like that. So I guess kind of, but like not like I can't believe I am doing this
Carson
over
Hocevar.
another NASCAR driver. Like
Yeah.
it's just NASCAR in general.
I'm sure you're like, if any NASCAR driver is doing it, it should probably be me.
Yeah, I kind of have that kind of thought.
Do you have a lot of haters?
Yeah,
Do you like them?
yeah. I mean, I like that. There's you people are either on one side or the other side.
What's your relationship like with your haters? Are they motivating? Are they annoying? Are they like,
No,
do you
I just think
secretly
it's
love
funny.
them?
No, I just think it's really funny, and I get to enjoy it, and I like getting under people's skin a lot.
Yeah.
So no, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Like we have, NASCAR fans are probably super passionate, and compared to a lot of other sports, they probably rank really high on, passionate for their guy. So it's cool, like how loud they get, or how many boos you might get. So it's cool to see the opposite side.
Can you hear them when you're in the car? You can hear boos and stuff?
Not quite. Luckily, I haven't gotten a lot of boos lately. But the spotter, sometimes when he's talking,
Who's the spotter?
So the spotter is the guy that will say like inside, outside.
Like
He'll
a referee kind of person?
No, so it's similar to during that clip.
Oh, yeah, the clip, the Dale.
in Days of Thunder,
Days of Thunder.
when they were playing that, similar to that. Sometimes when they're talking, if like I make a move for the lead, sometimes you'll hear the crowd, like because he'll be standing near the crowd.
And you have like a one-to-one spotter relationship? Like you have a spotter that's with you all the time?
Yep.
And
like in the race and stuff. Yep.
And that's like a good relationship?
Yeah, super good.
Yeah. You guys have a shorthand and stuff.
Mhm.
Like when you're going wild, what does he say to you?
We have like code words and stuff that like just that way he know, like I know of like if I'm going off the rails or something.
Do you have like a safe word like avocado or something?
Superman.
Superman?
Mhm.
And what does that mean?
Stop talking. Relax. Like you're fine.
Okay.
Like if I get like frustrated or something, like Superman's like the safe word.
He says Superman
He
to
says
you.
Superman to like chill out.
I like it. There's one guy, Zane, help me with his last name.
Smith.
Zane Smith.
Yes.
Who's a fellow NASCAR driver.
Mhm.
And I saw a video of you, and he was asked if he likes you. He's kind of like, I don't like him. He don't like me. This is 4 days ago. What happened? What's the drama in the NASCAR world? Tell me the tea.
I don't even know. It's very one-sided to me. Yeah, he seemed very frustrated or like mad about something. He tried to wreck me like last year. Like I spun him out and wrecked him by accident. And so he tried to wreck me and missed.
You did it by accident?
Yeah, I hit like a bump and like got loose and like
Okay.
I almost wrecked. Like if he wasn't to my outside, I was gonna spin myself. He just happened to be my outside. He like took a swipe at me, but like I saw it coming, so I just moved over and he missed. And then last week was like the first time I've ever really seen him. I was in front of him, and he went into the corner like wide open, like holding the throttle down, like gonna miss the corner completely. Like,
I don't know what any of this means. Can you
so
say it
as
in
if
dumb
there was
person language?
as if you're road raging on a guy, and there's a stoplight. The guy stops for the stoplight. The guy behind that's road raging does not stop for the stoplight so he can run into the guy as hard as he can to destroy his car. But the problem is, because you do that, you also destroy your own car.
Yeah.
So he didn't do a very good job at like trying to wreck me.
So he did
And
that to you?
He did that to me. Most of the time the car gets hit in the back is not as damaged as the car that gets hit in the front in street accidents. Well, that's pretty much the same in NASCAR. So he destroyed his own car more than his own. He wrecked himself. Then he went on a podcast and played tough guy, I guess. We had like a little NASCAR hauler meeting because they wanted it to like squash the rivalry.
Oh, NASCAR hauler meeting?
So like a NASCAR hauler meeting's as if you're going
Hauler
to
like HOLLER?
Yeah, like so like a trailer, like where they bring, like it's basically their conference room. It's just a traveling, because it's a traveling series. And so they brought us in there because they told me that they didn't even know what was going on. They just saw what he did and thought there was a lot more to the story.
So you got pulled into the principal's office.
Got pulled in the principal's office.
Okay.
So they brought us into the principal's office, and they're like, they're like talking of like, we need to chill out. You guys need to learn how to race each other. And I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't even know what this is about. Wreck me again. You're 0 for 2. Try it again. I don't care. My crew chief told them they're not a factor to us. We don't care what they do. So it's very one-sided. So
did you like this?
I just thought it was funny. Like I was laughing. Like I got to talk to the NASCAR officials after, and we were all laughing.
Is he 6'4"? The same
No.
guy? Is he as fast as you?
No.
Poor Zane. Okay, we have this video. It was in a NASCAR analyst show, Eric Estep.
Yep.
And this is him kind of, I think, talking about
Analyzing it. Yeah, he's like probably NASCAR's Stephen A, I guess, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like NASCAR news guy. Like,
he's the guy.
I've always wondered how other drivers feel about Carson Hocevar's social media presence, because as a fan, as a commenter, I love them. I think they're funny, charming. I think they're witty usually, but I've always wondered, drivers who may be on the receiving end of a Hocevar hurricane, how do they feel about those social media posts? Do they get a chuckle out of them as well? Do they roll their eyes and move on, or does it drive them crazy?
They're showing some memes of your social media, one of which is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And it says, what does it say on it?
I think it said, I will succeed because I'm insane.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny.
Okay, so how does it feel to be on the other side of a Hocevar hurricane? How do you think, like, empathize with these people on the receiving end? Answer Eric's question.
Or what
Other
I think
people-
the other guys think?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they probably hate it. They're probably just annoyed because, like, it doesn't, like I can get under their skin, but, like, anything they do doesn't faze me. Like, I'm just unbothered. But, you know, similar to, like, the Zane thing, like, says, like, I'm, I guess, like, a coward for talking on social media, but I said to his face, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I was sitting right there.
Is it all motivating for you?
I mean, it's not really motivating. It's actually, like, almost embarrassing when the guy that's, like, 23rd in points is, like, getting compared as your rival. Like, I think he's, you know, good and talented. His car is just not super fast and whatever. But, like, I'm just like, damn. Like,
What are you in points?
8th.
8th.
So we're okay.
Okay,
Like,
so
we're
you'd
not- we're
rather
not-
fight with number 7 or 9?
Yeah, would much rather be with them. Or at least someone, like, his comebacks are lame. And, like, I really couldn't, like, bother to, like, there's some guys that, like, I have gotten, like, run-ins with, and like it's funny to, like, mess with them, or, like, funny, like, or sometimes they'll, like, clap back, and, like, I love it. Like, I think it's funny and I enjoy it, but, like, his is just kind of lame, and like, I wasn't entertained. I more so left like, when I was seeing it online, like, everything he was saying and stuff, I was just like, does anybody even, like, gonna care about this, or, like, even think this is entertaining? Like,
Eric Estep cares.
yeah, but he didn't even name Zane.
He did name him. There's a whole thing.
Oh,
He
okay.
showed the quote. It was all
Okay.
like a quote card.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
didn't want to play that guy's podcast
Yeah.
for too long.
But no, it's funny.
Yeah.
But I just, there's sometimes where I'm just like, I just don't even want to bother with this guy or this guy or this guy. So, yeah, I much rather, like, be in run-ins with that. But, you know, if it's going to be one-sided, whatever, it could be 23rd in points or 30th in points. I don't care.
Does all this stuff, like, you getting outside of the window? I mean, we're talking about how NASCAR is different to F1. It's really hard to, it's harder to have, like, a brand or a bandwagon in NASCAR, right?
It
so,
is.
like, inside the car, inside the helmet.
It's tough
you're
to
not this.
give. You have to work hard to be a fan in NASCAR. Realistically, like, it's tough to get drawn to a driver. You gotta, like, really do your homework. Basically, you gotta do your research. You gotta push through, you know, of liking the sport without a favorite driver, and then find a favorite driver. A lot of sports, it's kind of the opposite. A lot of sports, you get, you know, you see a cool storyline, or you see something that has a relation to you, whether it's a city or a country. You're already given the reason to start watching.
Yeah.
NASCAR, you know, it works backwards, which is really difficult.
So all this stuff that you do, like getting out the window, being
It
seen.
makes it a little easier to bandwagon.
Yeah, your social media. And are you thinking about that? Is that strategy? Because earlier you said, like, you know, rubbing is
Yeah,
strategy.
I mean, all that's just for competitive advantage. But truthfully, I just enjoy doing all that stuff. You know, I grew up around YouTube. I grew up around streaming and all that stuff, and just basically have fun for a living. So a lot of my friends are able to do that, and I just get to be a part of it and enjoy it and have fun, and you know, do what I enjoyed watching as a kid. So I know YouTube. It makes sense to me, you know.
Do you still consider yourself like a YouTuber and a social media creator,
sure, why
content
not?
creator? You think everyone has to be
Yeah,
that?
I mean, everybody pretty much has to be now.
Do you think Dale Earnhardt, when he was there, would he have been? Would he be
I don't
like,
know.
if Dale
It'd be
Earnhardt were
hilarious.
alive today?
I think he'd be hilarious on Twitter, or not. I mean, probably
I
not
think
Twitter,
Twitter
but
would be his
Instagram. I think
format.
I think Instagram would be hilarious. I think he would be the guy that there's a professional sports player that used to be super good. I forget his name. I'm not. But all he does is just weird selfies, and it's hilarious. I forget who it is, but I just saw the other day, and they're just like, yeah, looking good, looking good, pal. Like one of the greatest in sports, and I forget his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you think of it, well, you can text us
Okay.
and we'll put it in. So one of my favorite things I've seen on your social media is that you created like a fanfic of you and Sabrina Carpenter. But she was on SNL and she's kind of saying, like she's talking about a guy and it's like he's 6'5", and they're like, what does he do? And she's like, it doesn't matter, he's 6'5". And they're like, what's his name? And she's like, doesn't matter, he's 6'5".
Yeah.
And then you showed yourself.
Yep.
1 inch short.
I'm 6'4" and 3/4. I'm so close.
Oh my God, every guy has to add 3/4 to their height.
Because I'm so close.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Do we have a tape measure here, guys? Okay, let's see it. Let's see.
I'm pretty sure I'm 6'4", 3/4.
I'm pretty sure. It went from
in.
certainty to sure. Let's see. You have to take off your shoes.
Yeah, man. Oh, okay.
Okay, let's see. 6'4" and 3/4. That would be. Dessa, can you check because you're tall? I feel like we're the IOC, the Olympic Committee.
Yeah, I'd say 6'4.5" maybe from the top of his head, yeah.
Oh.
So I'm a quarter off.
A quarter off, not bad. Okay, I'm going to put this away.
So 6'4" 1/2.
6'4" 1/2.
So that would be rounding up and grading on a curve.
Okay. You still have a crush on Sabrina Carpenter?
I mean, who doesn't?
But you got a girl now, right?
I have a friend.
You have a friend?
I have a friend.
Tell us about your friend. Can you?
Yeah, I have a friend.
Does your friend have a name?
Yeah, Tabitha.
Tabitha?
Yes.
And does your friend get scared when you race?
Yeah, she does. I don't know why, but she just gets nervous and yeah.
So she gets nervous when you take off?
She says she gets nervous for like all her friends and stuff, like a lot of them like perform or whatever, and she just gets nervous for them. So
that's sweet. Does that make you like her more, that she gets nervous for you?
Yeah.
Do your parents worry?
My mom doesn't. My dad used to. He's gotten over it. I've just been racing for so long now.
Yeah. We started the interview talking about Dale Earnhardt and kind of his like amazing racing career, but also tragic death on a track. I mean, are you scared of that? Are you scared of?
No, I mean the
hurt?
safety has grown so much and since 2001, especially. So no,
your
I'm
friend
super.
Brian passed, right?
Yeah, totally different car though. Those cars are still super dangerous. Midgets, they're open wheel, super small, everything. But NASCAR itself, those cars are super safe right now.
So you don't feel it's dangerous, but you seem like someone who like lives on the edge a little bit. Like you like a thrill, right? Do you know Alex Honnold, the climber? It's kind of weird when I watched that movie Free Solo. I was like, this guy's just not afraid of, like, he just has that part of him turned off.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, no, I've just always just been super comfortable in a car and never really been scared of it.
Are you scared of anything?
Heights.
Heights?
Yeah. Yes, heights are scary to me, but that's about it.
Even at 6'4" 1/2?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Just tall, being at the top of super tall buildings are just. I mean, it's just a lot, especially looking down and everything, and being on edges. Just difficult for me.
Yeah. Mark Cuban was my first guest, and he too is afraid of heights.
Really? I didn't know
and
that.
He's tall too. He's like, I think he's like 6'3". He's gonna get mad at me if I say it's not. I think he's 6'3". And we fact checked your height.
I know. I mean, have you ever done that before?
No.
So I'm a first.
You're first. You're the first. I end every episode of Smart Girl Dumb Questions asking my guests, who is so knowledgeable in their sphere, what they are dumb about. What is a dumb question that you have that you don't know the answer to?
I just done anything?
On anything.
On anything. Literally
Yeah.
anything.
You can also like pull out your phone. You can look through like some things you've asked your phone recently that you think are
We
kind of
have
embarrassing.
a question that we asked all our friends. I didn't come up with it. Would you rather have unlimited bacon, but no games? No games in the world. Or unlimited games, unlimited games, but no games.
But no bacon.
No bacon, but no games.
Wait, what? I don't understand. Wait. So you can have unlimited bacon.
Yep.
Like bacon the food.
Bacon the food.
And no games.
And no games.
Or you can have unlimited games.
Unlimited games.
But no bacon.
But no games.
But no games?
But no games.
What? Am I not getting this?
I'm being crystal clear. Hold on, I'll say it one more time. Unlimited bacon.
Yeah.
But no games. Or games. Unlimited games.
Oh, but no game. No
But
game,
games.
no meat. No game,
No,
meat.
but games. No games.
Does anyone else understand what's happening here?
Like video games or like?
No, just games.
I don't get it. The both?
Yeah, all both.
Unlimited games, but no games.
Right. Crystal clear.
Are you high?
No.
I don't understand.
What? No. What?
What's your answer?
You wanted a dumb question?
What's your answer to the question?
No, that's the thing. You can't tell anybody else your answer. You just have to answer. What would your answer be?
I don't eat bacon, so I guess I have to live in the paradox of the second choice.
So you just get unlimited games.
But no games.
Crystal clear.
Do you ever worry the fire suits are carcinogenic?
What does that mean?
Cancer causing?
I just have smarter people that worry about that stuff.
Yeah.
They just hand me a suit, and I'm just like, cool, I'll wear that.
Okay. You don't want to tell me the games trick?
No, there's no trick. There's just you just answer one or the other.
And your friends and you guys ask each other this question all the time?
All the time.
And nobody can tell each other their answer?
Correct. No, we hear the answer of the new person.
Okay.
But they don't know our answers.
Okay.
It's like an initiation. Yep.
Okay. And this is okay. Great. I think we should end there. I'm gonna have to go ask ChatGPT about this.
Okay.
And see if he has an answer. Can you ask ChatGPT actually? Pull out your phone.
I don't have ChatGPT on my phone.
What do you have?
I don't use AI.
You don't use AI?
No.
Oh, because you're so Gen Z.
I don't know. I just
Do you hate AI?
No, I just don't normally use it.
How do you find things out? Google?
I fake it.
You fake it? You pretend to know things you don't know?
I just pretend to things, yeah.
That's what the show is all about not doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Smart girl, dumb questions. Like, be confident enough to be curious. You're confident, Carson. You can do it.
No. Just normally it's just fun. You just make up stories.
So your hall pass is Sabrina Carpenter.
I don't know.
Does your friend have a hall pass?
No, but I don't give out the hall pass to myself.
No, but
That's
you
not how that
I
works.
guess you and your friend haven't
That's not how it works.
established.
That's not how that works.
Okay.
It's a dumb question.
That's the show. All right. Thank you for being here, Carson. This is a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to start measuring all my guests now. I'm not sure if Desta at Wonder Studios was just giving Carson a little extra inch there. I don't know, but did seem. I was too short to see. But he was a lot of fun. I knew nothing about NASCAR. Now I know more about NASCAR. But what a wild thing to be doing at 23. And I just enjoyed his personality and that he was kind of game for the whole thing. Anyways, if you know the answer, please drop me a DM at smartgirldumbquestions or at Nayeema Raza, or just email me, nayeemaraza101@gmail.com. You can also call us at 1-855-MY-DUMB-QUESTIONS with your dumb questions, but try to make them less dumb than Carson's dumb question. Also, you can find Carson at NASCAR. I guess you can find him outside of the window of his car, and you can find him at Carson Hocevar on Instagram or TikTok or all of the places. I think you can find his friend Tabitha there too. She's a big time TikToker from what I can understand. That's it for this episode of Smart Girl Dumb Questions. I hope it was a fun one for you, as it was for me, and I hope that you too are as tall as Carson Hocevar. This episode was produced with Sanjana Nigam and Melissa Lee Gibson. It was engineered by Jamie Van Korf, edited by Davey Chin. It was shot with Desta Wonderad at Wonder Studios, this amazing place where I film out in Manhattan. And I'm your host, Nayeema Raza. I'll see you next week for an all-new Smart Girl, Dumb Questions.